Afternoon. I guess it's my pleasure to open the last ceremony or program for this year's conference, Transfer Command. What I'd like to do first is there's been some great folks working behind the scenes from early in the year, for the last 6-8 months, putting together an incident command program or incident command chart and giving us all orders and putting everything together so we could run it like we run an incident. If I could have those people stand. If you look over there, they have done a phenomenal job. A huge help on keeping this conference going, taking care of the logistics, and really doing a fine job. And I have to single out Ms. Bianca, who was the PIO, who did a fabulous job making me look better than I really am on camera. So thank you very much. Another group I'd like to thank and recognize is the 2013-2014 Leadership Institute class. Do I have any of those people here? Anyone? I have some pins for them. If you see them, let them know. Would the 2014-2015 class stand? Yeah, y'all can clap. Take a look over here. What you have is some hardworking individuals that felt like they wanted to get better in the fire service, wanted to learn more, wanted to do more in the association, grow personally, grow professionally. So they decided to embark on a one-year program, Leadership Institute. They were here this week giving their individual projects and working behind the scenes and have done a noble job all week, putting in hard work to make this conference something special. So if you would, give them another round of applause. Yeah, Tommy Norris is giving them their Leadership Institute pin. And Tommy's slow, so who knows how long this might take. And they offered you no help. I know how Joe likes to go off script, but you could have probably put it in their hand and they could have. Joe, you in for a long year. Right now, you're just stretching out my presidency, so rock on. Once again, your 2014-2015 Leadership Institute class. Ashley's got y'all trained up well, too, Bubba. Something we do with the association, it's important to us to recognize people that go above and beyond in our profession. So what we do is we take nominations for awards all through the year. So what I would like to do now is direct your attention to the screen for our first award.
This program has been around. This is its 5th year of existence. It's basically a recruit program that teaches South Carolina Fire Academy certifications all the way up through IFSAC Firefighter 2 certification to high school students. They start as a 10th grader with an introduction piece where they learn about the basics of firefighting. When they come back to me as a junior, they take Firefighter 1 and all the prerequisites with that. And then as a senior, they take Firefighter 2 and all the prerequisites with that program as well. So when they graduate from my program and graduate from high school, they're career and job ready with the IFSAC Firefighter 2 certification. It's a very hands-on program. It does have classroom, it does have lecture, but it's also, we try to get the students outside the classroom as much as possible. Firefighting is a hands-on profession, so obviously we're trying to do everything we can to simulate and recreate a working career as a firefighter and those firefighting certifications. We spend a lot of time going to the local burn building We get the students in live fire and training even in their junior and senior year.
Well, we first started on this journey. Luke was one of those that had really a servant's heart and was open to innovative ideas. And as we began looking at developing a program for high schools, both high schools and career technology centers for firefighting, he was one of the first ones that kind of jumped up, and where there was a handful of people who were involved both from the development as subject matter experts. He was willing to try anything that we threw his way. Some of it didn't work, some of it did, but the biggest thing was Luke and his administration and his students just embraced everything we were trying to do to try and get certification into the high school levels.
This program was started in 2010. It was one of the first programs throughout the state. This program here is one of the premier programs that a lot of other programs were started throughout the state because of what Luke has gotten off to the ground level here in Anderson. We've spent many sleepless nights when he first started this program to developing the program, getting the necessary equipment, and just putting it all together. And now you see where it is today from the hard work and the diligence that he's actually put into this to get it where it is for the state of South Carolina.
Mr. Riddle, he's taught me a lot. He kind of means a lot to me because he's taught me most everything that I know about the fire service. And thank him. I'd like to thank him for everything he's done.
There have been a lot of people that have been hard at work behind the scenes making these programs successful. We've seen this program, the state program, go from just a few schools spread throughout the state to over 20 programs just like this with instructors and teachers that are doing the exact same thing every single day that I'm doing. So I feel honored and blessed, but I also know that there's a lot of people doing the same thing as I am.
The Clyde B. Spiller Award for this year is Luke Riddle.
Now, accepting on Luke's behalf will be his wife. Luke wasn't able to be with us because his current boss won't let him off. Where's his? Now, although Luke wasn't able to join us, he didn't send a message. And like I said, his current employer wouldn't give him the week off, and you'll see why in a second.
I'd like to thank the South Carolina Firefighters Association for this award. I'm extremely humbled and honored to be able to receive it. Unfortunately, I'm not able to be with you today. As we speak, I'm probably marching or doing push-ups right now in Fort Benning, Georgia, in Army basic training. But I'm very thankful that you were thought enough of me to be able to give me this award. Also, bring my wife, Melissa, and my kids, Avery, Addie, and Brody, to the beach to be able to accept the award. So thank you so much.
All right, so next we have a Meritorious Action Award, and if you will, again, take a look at the monitors.
Me and my girlfriend, Jessica Costa, went in, and we're seated out on the patio area that was right near the dunes. Roofers on the building, the hotel building next to it, began to call and point that somebody was in trouble. I observed the two people that were in distress probably a 250 to 300 feet off the beach. They were struggling attempting at that time to make their way back, and they were actually dividing and splitting apart. I assume they had been together at some point. I ran down the beach, kicking off clothes and shoes, and basically down to cargo shorts. Glanced out into the ocean, got a bearing for the two individuals that were in trouble, and initially made water entry going after the woman. Immediately hit a wall because the current, the swells that day were pushing water pretty heavy up onto the beach, and which was ultimately creating the rip currents that they had been trapped in. Pushed through the break, got out into the open water, and then was riding swells for a while and trying to maintain a visual of where she was. I made initial contact, told her to calm down, was yelling at her that, you know, the rescue was coming, just to keep doing the lazy eight backpedaling she was doing. She was just lying on her back trying to breathe. And the boogie board came up. The Good Samaritan brought the boogie board, placed it in front of her. She was able to grab and drape herself over it. That gave me a lot of relief knowing that she was able to sustain herself, you know, for that moment. So I turned back across the rip current, and at that point, the swells and the onshore was actually my favor. I was able to push south further. At some point, I saw him in the trough. Me and him were both down in it, and I saw another swimmer approaching, and he came over the trough. A third Good Samaritan approached with a boogie board, offered it to him. The gentleman took it, draped himself over it, and took us a good 5 to 7 minutes, probably of steady kicking, the three of us, to push our way back to the beach. First victim, she appeared at some point down the beach and was checking on the man as he came out of the water. We were basically carrying him. He asked if he could take a knee and catch his breath, and I understand he had that adrenaline dump, was trying to get his feet back under him and had been struggling, probably more so than she. And he eventually was able to stand on his own. We walked up the beach together and set the two of them down. Paramedics gave them about 20, 30 minutes of assessment and conversation, make sure that they had not taken in excessive amounts of water, and they both ultimately signed a waiver not to be transported.
I can say probably without a doubt another 5 minutes in the water, and they would have been submerged, and we would have been, you know, looking for bodies other than people on the beach that the medics could look at, treat, and sign waivers. And then the funny thing is before you even knew it, you turn around and Shane Kingsford is gone. He slipped out. You know, that's the kind of guy he is. Doesn't look for recognition. He did what he needed to do, and then went back to eating lunch and enjoying his day with his girlfriend.
Firefighter Kingsford is what I and many people would call the real deal. He's the epitome of what you want in a department from the standpoint of work ethic, from the standpoint of professionalism, from the standpoint of walking the walk, and actually a great role model for our firefighters, especially our younger firefighters. We're very proud of Shane. We're very proud of what it represents for him personally and for the department. It's a great honor. As you know, we've won awards in the past, and this is right up there. It's a great honor. I think it illustrates to the community what we do every day. The 2015 Meritorious Action recipient is Shane Kingsford.
All right, did you get a good shot? Okay. You don't win those every day. For our next award, please take a look at the screen.
That particular morning, I had dropped off a payment in a night deposit box, and when a pulled back out on South Armadale Boulevard and kind of looked over to the left. I saw a large column of smoke over the treetops, and I kind of thought to myself, you know, this is kind of strange being a Sunday morning. So I had started over that way just to kind of take a look and see what was going on. And I got about halfway over there when Lake City Tone dropped, and they were being dispatched to a structure fire. So I kind of picked up the pace a little bit, and when I arrived on the scene and looked back in there where the mobile home was, I saw fire blowing out the windows in the kitchen area, living room area, which was on the Dell end of the trailer. Saw 3 or 4 people running around out in the front yard hollering and screaming. So I immediately got out and went over and asked them if there was anyone in the structure, and they said, yeah, there was a young girl down over, and they pointed towards the Bravo end of the trailer, which they had already vented, knocked out all the windows, and old dark brown smoke was just puffing out all of the windows. And
as I was getting ready, a Deputy Chief Baker and some civilians also was helping pull one of our crosslays off as I was getting geared up, getting my air pack on, and getting the truck and pump and charging the hose. At that time, Deputy Chief Baker and one of the civilians had a majority of the fire towards the living room, the kitchen area knocked down enough for us to go ahead and enter. I was first in on the nozzle. Danny followed me in. I started knocking down some more fire as we're going towards the hallway. As we approached the hallway, we got halfway down, and that's when I told Danny, go ahead and go in front of me.
I went on to do a search while he was continuing to hit the fire. I got halfway down the hallway, and fire was going above my head, and on both sides of me, I just literally couldn't go any further due to the heat and the fire. I yelled back to Craig to hit the fire. He couldn't see me, and I couldn't see him. It just so happened that when he opened the nozzle, it went exactly where it needed to go. So I pushed further down the hallway, went literally a couple more feet, and my hand ended up hitting her wrist. Got her and yelled back to Craig that I'd found the victim, and he come over to where I was. We got her to the back door, and I communicated over the radio to command that we had a victim, and we were on the Charlie side of the building. We needed EMS and personnel over there pretty quickly.
If I would say anything about that day, on that Sunday morning, the members of the fire department, the 3 individuals that I've named from different departments, came together for one purpose: to perform what they've been trained to do, to enter a atmosphere in a burning mobile home to rescue a life, and they successfully did it. They made a difference, and that's what we're here to do, is make a difference, and those guys made a difference. All 3 individuals came together that day for the good of an individual. They put everything on the line like they do on every call, but to have that 10-year-old little girl walking around today because of their actions, they deserve recognition for it. People need to know we have a tendency to get complacent on firefighters and what they do, but because of those 3 guys and the effort that they put forth on that Sunday morning, that 10-year-old girl is still here today. Congratulations. This is your 2015 Meritorious Action Award winners.
What I'd like to do now is recognize past president. If you're a past president of the association, would you please stand? That's one of the things that give me reassurance that even though my ride's over, there's plenty of work to do because those people are doing it for a long time. And I did find one thing for Jonathan to do at the conference. All right, so I guess it's my time. I'll tell you that one of the things that gets me through life and allows me to deal with tough situations and enjoy things is my sense of humor. So what I want to do is start this off with a joke I told Carter Jones last night. I'm just kidding, Carter. I won't tell that. I told Carter 2 jokes, and neither one of them even close to appropriate to be in this room. So I just wanted to get a rise out of Carter. Sadly enough, this is the last time that I'll address the association as the president. But time moves on. And I'm okay with that. I knew what I signed up for. Because being out front and being the president was not why I ran, as silly as that may sound. I knew if I ran, I have a 5-year commitment to make a difference in the association. So that's what I decided to do. Spending the year as president and having to be that guy out front, I never got comfortable with guys come up to me and say, hey, Mr. President. I'm not that guy back home in my fire department, and I don't like being that guy out there. I like being the guy behind the scenes helping people, and that's what I like to do. And I want to thank you all for the opportunity to do that. I'm going to give you some advice today. And, you know, a lot of times you don't get up here and talk about, usually thank everybody. I've done that. I spent the whole year last year thanking people for getting me here. You know, I wrote personal letters to people that mean a lot to me, thanking them to get here. Because to tell you the truth, when you start thanking people here, you start getting emotional and you start messing this speech up. So this ain't my day, it's Tommy's day, and I'm going to give him all that emotions. But there's some people in this room, and I'm looking out and I see Liam. Yeah? Hey, Liam. Jim Steelboy Adler. And I look at them 2 young boys, and I look at my nieces over here, Danielle and Nikki, and my daughter and my son. And I start thinking, what's the future of the fire service? These young kids, these grandkids, these nieces and nephews that we're dragging to this conference will be telling the story that I hear from a lot of the people I serve with now about when their dad drug them to the conference. So at what point do we start giving the message? My son's in college now. At what point do I give him the message? I got Avery getting ready to go into the academy in August. When does he need the message? I tell you where he's going to get it. He's going to get it today. I'm going to give y'all some tips on what made me successful. And I consider standing in this position, wearing this ring, allowed to serve our membership, as about as successful as I could do. What I want you to do is choose your mentors wisely. Because the people you follow will develop your habits, your traits, and your character. If you choose the wrong one, you're going to end up just like them. And don't be afraid if you chose a member and you decide, a mentor and they're not the guy, switch. Those people that stood a minute ago have been my mentors. I see one guy over here sitting by himself, like nobody wanted to talk to him, who's been a huge mentor in my career. Now, that's probably what I do the best. I find people that can help me because I know you can't do it on your own. Find those mentors, use them. Set reasonable and obtainable goals. But don't let anybody else tell you how reasonable or how obtainable it is. That's your choice because you'll decide how hard you're going to work for it. When you start having people to tell you what your ceiling is, then that's your ceiling. Because being a son of a shrimper from Port Royal, I would have never been here if I would have listened to people tell me what I couldn't accomplish. And really, when I first heard my mentors tell me I could accomplish that, it was like, wait a minute. So they believed more in me than I believed in myself. So don't let anybody set a ceiling on you as you move forward. Challenge yourself to be better every day. I have a saying that I go by. It's better today than I was yesterday, and better tomorrow than I was today. Everybody to a man will tell you in the fire service, if you're not learning every day, if you're not getting better every day, you're probably in the way of somebody else. Because what's going on today, the knowledge and skills and abilities you have today are going to be different 5 years down the road. And if you're not going to be progressive and change, then it's going to pass you by. Now, you want some progressive chiefs and progressive people? I'll point again those people that I asked to stand before I got started talking. Those are your progressive people because they made their run, they made their mark, and they're not done. Be yourself and never forget where you came from. That's probably the best advice I can give you in life. Never forget what your parents taught you, no matter how far you go in this world. It served me, it allowed me to stay humble, and it even hurts me to say that up here when you're talking to this crowd and saying successful, but I'm extremely humble on what I've accomplished. But it's those days growing up in Port Royal, South Carolina that I think back on, and I'm in D.C. or Indianapolis, and I'm thinking, what in the hell am I doing here? If they find me out, they're going to throw me out of here. So some other advice that I'm not giving you today, but fake it till you make it. No, what you do is, and after you're there a couple times, the first time I went to D.C. or somewhere like that, I sat in the corner and was afraid to even shake hands with anybody. But then you start realizing, wait a minute, I do belong here. I do belong here. I have something to say, and I have a message. And I represent a lot of good people back home. And that gives you strength to move forward. Always remember, the fire service owes you nothing. I have gained more from the fire service than I will ever be able to repay. If you just remember that you owe the fire service and the fire service doesn't owe you, you'll go a long way in this profession. You can make something of yourself. I'm going to tell you what the fire service is not about. Although I love to look at them too, but it's not about shiny trucks. It's not about the federal queue. It's not about the next gadget that comes out. It's not about the new gear. It's not about the new packs. And it doggone sure ain't about being a hero. A lot of times heroes end up dead. If you go into this fire service wanting to be a hero, Carter Jones will be calling your name at this memorial service long before it's time. I will tell you this. It's about people. That's what the fire service is. It's about serving people, and that's all. And every day, you do everything you can to do that to the best of your ability. Now, I'm also going to tell people that may want to be part of this association in the future, or some of my guys that are coming up behind me as president, what this association isn't about. And as a young guy coming to things, Dennis Ray always talks about the sticker. All he knew about the association was the sticker that was on the back of the car. I can tell you this association is not about a sticker. It's not about the cool shirts that the executive committee wears, although I did a good job this year, you got to admit. It's not about the trips to D.C. It's not about the trips to Indianapolis or FRI or any other perk that you receive serving this association. It's about the people. It's about the membership. It's about the firefighter riding backwards that doesn't have a voice. And it's our responsibility and our duty to always, always remember that guy. Never lose focus on what's important. And to me, those guys that we serve, that membership, has been the most important thing to me over the last 5-6 years. I try to never forget that when we're making a decision, and some decisions aren't always what they want. It's not always what they think they need. But they have a narrow view sometimes, and we're trying to take care of a membership as a whole. So what I wanted to do today, I just wanted to explain to you what I thought my values were to get me here, and I just hope that I demonstrated that as your president. Throughout my process, I hope that you saw that, you knew the passion, and knew where my heart was. I thank everybody who helped me on my journey. Now, Joe Palmer, come out here and give the keys to Tommy Norris. Thank y'all.
Thank you, sir. Excellent speech and an excellent tenure as our president. I was proud to work with you and serve under you, so thank you, sir. We've got a little catching up to do this year that we've been remiss in, and for reasons and for just simple omission. But we do have, you got one final act, sorry, you can get out with a speech. We've got to call two people to the stage to kind of catch us up to speed. Both are past presidents. The first had a little family edition, and we weren't able to do this at the appropriate time. And so I would, if Billy Gibson, if you're in the audience, would you please join us up here on stage, please? Billy's one of our past presidents. Billy's got a sweet and wonderful addition to his family, and just cutest little boy. Billy may speak more to it when he comes up here, but Billy, we're offering you your past president's gavel plaque and also his Hall of Fame induction plaque as well. So, Billy.
Yeah, this time last year, young Griffin Anderson Gibson was on his way from the hospital. And as Will said, if you started to try to thank everybody, you would forget somebody. But I've had so many people over the last 17 months that have called, they have come by while we've been here at the conference. My phone's worn out. I want to see pictures of that little man. And we're doing very well. Thank you for all the prayers. A lot of folks in this room offered up a lot of prayers on our behalf, and I'm here to tell you that it works. And they're supposed to be watching, so Joy and Griffin, I'll be home in a little bit, and I love y'all. And appreciate, again, the opportunity to have served this fine association and look through the crowd and see so many people that, like Will, helped me along the way. And I think that looking through the upcoming executive committee members, I think we're going to be in good hands for years to come now. So, gentlemen, as it seems, much like pastors, we never really retire. There's always something to do, and if I can ever be of assistance, please don't hesitate to call. And thank you.
Thank you. I look forward to him being at one of our conferences. Billy's heard me say that, so we look forward to that very soon. Second past president I'll call up, again with a little omission and error on our part, was an opportunity to finish up honoring a gentleman who was not only a great president, but I would consider a friend of mine as well. And I'm just honored to offer the mic and ask to come up to the podium, Jonathan Jones, if you would, please. It's already out back here. Perfect. Perfect.
It may be a mistake offering me the mic. Tommy, you got a little while? I told Will it is different. Your years past president, all you fellas that stood up get that. I was talking with another past president. Not all of them, a lot of them were ready for it to be over with. I told them I'd do the whole thing again. Don't worry, you guys that are thinking about running. I'm not planning on running again, but I'd do the whole thing again. And I think Will nailed it. It's not about your year as president. It's about the contributions that you're able to make throughout your tenure, and to be able to serve as chairman of different committees and then work my way through the vice president's seat and ultimately to the president. It was about the opportunities to be creative, to do neat things, and to do things that matter to our membership. So thank you for this. The biggest honor was to get to serve with one of my best friends and to take that ride together. Again, another one of my best friends, Joe Palmer, to get to work with him on a regular basis, so thank you.
Billy was waving to folks back home. We have, this week, all of the sessions in this room, we've been live streaming them over the internet, and we've had a lot of folks watching. Just a few minutes ago, there were 24 different sites that were watching these programs, and that doesn't tell us exactly how many people are at each site, but Tommy can elaborate. But we had some people internationally watching from Budapest, Hungary yesterday, so it was very nice to know that, hello audience, greater audience that there is. We do appreciate that and that new technology. This is a very emotional day. It was for me back several years ago when it was my turn, and Will and I have shared a few tears and a lot of hugs this week. But it is this opportunity, Tommy. Now's your time. And I'd like for you, if you would, please come up and join us on stage. yeah, this is gavel swapping time. And the gavel gets to be presented from the soon-to-be past president, very soon.
I'm past. That's it.
To our new president. So, gavel, please.
Use this with wisdom, but use it heavy if you gotta.
Okay. Thank you.
And I'm gonna tell you, it's heavier than it looks.
Yeah. Use it cautiously. There you have it, right?
Okay.
Mine's beat up pretty bad, though, so don't worry. If we could have the president's helmet up, please. As it's coming forward, one of the traditions that we have, as most fire departments, is that there's a helmet which represents command. We're no different. This helmet gets to travel from president to president. I got to keep it for a while, and Will's had it at this point. He gets to share it now with Tommy.
And this thing's been proudly displayed in my fire department for a year. All right, this helmet symbolizes the honor and dignity of the South Carolina State Firefighter Association. With this helmet, I now transfer command to this great association. Congratulations. Thank you, Will. Go get 'em, baby. All right.
There you go, fella. And you have, Tommy, now the opportunity to offer Will his gavel.
Will, this being such a special moment, I had to write a poem for you, okay?
Oh, great Lord.
All right. Will, I'd like to present you with your gavel and stand, which rarely you had to use to get things in hand. With the likes of Bruce, Kyle, and such, really, I can't believe you didn't have to use this that much. Thank you for your wisdom and guidance, for the fact that your gavel and stand show little wear and tear caused by this wonderful, unruly band. Thank you.
He's out of here. Somebody catch him quick. He'll be back, don't worry. He'll be back. He hadn't gotten his paycheck yet. Mr. President, sir, incoming, one of your first official acts before you take the oath is to announce for the audience the winner of our fourth vice president's election we had yesterday and call him to the gavel. Call him to the microphone, sorry.
It's with great privilege and honor I get to name the new fourth vice president, Mr. Charlie King. If you would like to say a few words.
Move it around. Gotcha. I certainly owe a very humble thank you to the membership for the vote of confidence. It's been said that a man of his word carries the day. I give my word to each one of the members that I'll work hard to continue the legacy of leadership that's made our association great. Jeff Harkey, if you're in the room, thank you for the signs. I have a feeling they're going to long outlive my 5 years here, so thank you.
And Charlie, don't get too comfortable, because if I could have, please, the vice presidents and now past president come down to the front, take your positions in front of the microphone. We have the opportunity each year to offer the oath to these positions. This year to administer their oath is Carter Jones. Mr. Jones, the floor is yours.
All right, gentlemen? If it can be messed up, he'll do it. So, if you will, please raise your right hand, and I will read the oath, and you respond. Do you swear to support the Constitution and bylaws, and at all times bear true allegiance to the goals and purposes of the South Carolina State Firefighters Association? And do you further swear to perform the duties and responsibilities of your office to the best of your ability, so help you God? Congratulations.
Congratulations, gentlemen. Thank you very much. Now, sir, it's your time. If I could have the administrator of the oath and tell us who your guests are that are coming up on stage, please.
My mother, Emma Dean Norris, my wife, Donna Norris, my son, Matt, my daughter-in-law, Chelsea, and grandson, Liam. And Phil Jolly's going to administer the oath.
Ms. Norris, one of the things that I think was very important to me, because in my experience, was that inasmuch as that the president's going to get a lot of stress and pressure in times, so will you. And one of the great traditions, I think, in a moment of sharing is to allow the wife of the outgoing president to be able to share a few thoughts and things with you. So at this time, Monica, if you would, please. Fire service is full of traditions, and I don't think this association is any different. We have the pleasure of using ever since 2004, a special Bible that was presented to this association by Chief Richie Fanning. And the Fanning Bible has been used at funerals. It's been used at a lot of ceremonies, and a lot of people a lot smarter than me have had the chance to look through it and read and get wisdom and good advice from it. But we also use it to swear in our president. So, and for the oath, sir, if you would.
Thank you, sir. This is not in the script, but I have to say that it's certainly a pleasure for me to induct Tommy as your new president. Known his family a very long time, probably longer than we want to talk about, Tommy. This is a great public service family. And I know there's a few folks looking down on us today that's very proud of this entire family. So, Tommy, you ready? And on the Bible, raise your hand. I state your name.
I, Tommy Norris,
Hereby swear
that
I will support the Constitution and bylaws
I will support the Constitution and bylaws
and at all times
and at all times
bear true allegiance
bear true allegiance
to the goals and the purposes
and to the goals and to the purposes
of the South Carolina State Firefighters
of
Association.
the South Carolina State Firefighters Association.
I further swear
I further swear
to perform the duties and responsibilities
to perform the duties and responsibilities
of my office
to
to the best of my ability.
the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you all very much. Appreciate it greatly. Mr. President, one of the things that I've had the pleasure of being able to wear for a number of years is the President's ring, which constantly reminds me about this association and my duties and the love that I have for it. So, sir, I present to you your ring. Wear it in good health and in great wisdom.
Thank you, Joe.
And, sir, the podium is now yours.
All right. Dennis Ray, it is a light. You're quite welcome. Me and him was debating what that was, a light or a microphone. Now we know. He asked me to promise him that I'd address that first. That was my first issue as president. If y'all saw what happened up here just now, that's why I moved back to Spartanburg. Me and Kyle go back and forth, kid each other a lot about having so many jobs. And I've had 5, but each time it's been for family. It really, part of it is about me, but most of it's about family. And that's why I moved back to Spartanburg. I'd like to start by saying thank you to a lot of people that have made this possible today. When I started, I had a 2-hour speech. I trimmed it down to an hour 45. Y'all okay with that? I like this mic. I can move around. But no, I want to say thank you, Donna, for supporting me in this endeavor and allowing me the time away from home and family to do what we do. Thank you very much. To my parents, thank you for being parents, for instilling in me said I wasn't going to do it. But thanks for instilling in me the core values that I carry with me today. That made me who I am. Thank you. Sorry, y'all. All right. Phil, thank you for taking a chance on me. You know, I got out of the fire service for just a little bit, and you took a chance on me as assistant chief, and I want to thank you for that. Roger Means isn't here today, but thank you, Roger, for showing me how to lead and treat people in the right way in every situation, no matter who they are. Thank you. Carter, I got to know you later in life, but thank you. Thank you for your guidance, help, mentoring, and what true passion for the fire service looks like. Thank you. Bruce, thank you for your support. Thank you for the swift kick in the rear end when I needed it. Your honesty, no matter what anybody else thinks, and your passion and commitment to the fire service. Thank you. Will, thank you for your guidance, direction, and leadership during the past year as president, and for another great conference. I know that what you've done this year will be evident for many years to come, no doubt. Fully involved membership, that was great. To the staff, Joe, wherever you went, I don't know where you went, but Joe, thank you. Joe is the face of the association. He cast the vision. Joe's a great leader. Joe works tirelessly for this association, and we couldn't do it without him. To the staff, Jason, Ashley, Zarina, Jeff, Marcia, Brian, Paul, Janice, Patty, and Jana, our newest addition. Thank you for your efforts and your work to fulfill the mission of this great association on a daily basis. So I was down in Florida last week at Disney World. We went down and I asked them if they'd leave me alone for a day, and they went to Hollywood Studios, I think. And so I stayed back at the motel to work on my speech. And got it where I wanted it. Came here this week. I listened to Bobby Halton. I listened to the Fire Marshal, Burt Polk, on Thursday. And it got me to second guessing myself. I said, man, I ought to put this in my speech. I ought to put that in my speech. And I said, I ought to change it. And I really was. I was starting to work on it and changing a few things. And then I said, no, Tommy. I said, these people elected me 4 years ago. I stood here 4 years ago. And I had a few ideas and what I hope to accomplish during my tenure serving on the board. And of those ideas, I believe that relationships are the key to building bridges to establish one common voice within the state's fire service. And I still believe that to this day. Over the past several years, this association has worked tirelessly to promote relationships between our various associations and stakeholders. We now hold our conference jointly with the chiefs and the instructors, and we've begun to develop sections within our association to mirror those at the national level in an effort to better serve all of our membership and address their needs. As an association, we know and understand that we cannot accomplish much without the support and cooperation of our brother and sister associations, the Fire Academy, the Fire Marshal's Office, and our member departments and our members. We have to continue building bridges to open and maintain those lines of communications and cooperation to fully accomplish the mission of our association. This week, our fire marshal, he told us about 2 fatalities and then the possibility that 2 more may pass away. And I never did hear if they did or not. But and then I caught him out in the vendor hall and was talking to him, and he told me about some things he's working on, which where I was very interested in. He's talking about new ways of capturing data and using other people that we typically don't use, like EMS, law enforcement, to identify those people that are at risk, and we can better predict who may have a fire. After hearing his proposal, we as an association need to do everything in our power to build those bridges to assist with non-traditional means and allies for identifying those at risk and helping to decrease fire deaths in our state due to no working smoke detectors. As a result of our effort to build bridges, our association has become not only a leader in our state, but also a leader nationally. We've been invited recently to the Maryland State Firefighters Association Board, and they want us to present our most recent experience with our planning process and our resulting strategic plan. So not only statewide, but we're becoming recognized nationally. For those who know what I'm talking about, I asked y'all about 2 different words. And, you know, I got 2 different answers, 3 different answers, 4 different answers. But vital to our strong foundation of this great association is building bridges to those within our membership who in the past, they may not have thought of or considered serving our association, for various reasons, I think we should strive to mirror our association demographically, and we need to ensure that we're diligent in our efforts to have fair and honest representation from those that are willing, and have shown through their passion and hard work to serve the fire service. This coming year, we will have many new faces. I want you to several people have asked to step down this year, so I don't want anybody to think that I'm throwing a bunch of people off the committees. I'm not. But this coming year, we're going to have several new committee chairs. Marquis Solomon, he's going to replace Charlie King as the chair of our Finance and Audit Committee. Mike Norkett, he's replacing Bruce Klein as the chair of our Training and Education Committee. John Bowers, he's replacing Mike Sonfeld. Mike, you in here? No. For y'all that don't know, Mike served as the chairman of our supervisory committee for like 18 or 19 years. And I just can't believe that commitment. That's commitment there. But John's replacing him. Thank you, John. Greg Bolano from North Charleston, he's going to replace Jim Steele as the chair of the Health and Safety Committee. And Jamie Cajano will replace John Bowers as the chair of the Bylaws Committee. I want to thank each of you in advance for your commitment and for your upcoming efforts in building bridges to new and existing relationships. And Will, you said you wasn't going to take away from my day, but I'm going to go ahead and close here. In closing, as an association, we're going to always work tirelessly to represent our mission and provide the services and benefits to all our members and member departments, no matter the size, location, or makeup of the department. Again, thank you for allowing me this great opportunity to serve you. Billy in Budapest, thank you for watching. And it is now my distinct honor and privilege to call the 2015 South Carolina Fire Rescue Conference adjourned.